If you've ever strolled past a barbershop, you've likely noticed the familiar spinning pole with its red, white, and blue stripes. But have you ever stopped to wonder why these specific colors were chosen and what they symbolize? The barber pole is more than just a decorative emblem. It carries a rich history dating back centuries. It originates from a time when barbers did more than just trim hair. They also performed medical procedures like bloodletting, minor surgeries, and even tooth extractions. The colors of the pole reflect this fascinating past, connecting modern barbershops to an era when grooming and medical care were intertwined. So why exactly are barber poles red, white, and blue? Let's dive into the story behind this iconic symbol right here on History of Simple Things. To fully understand the meaning behind the barber pole, we have to go back to the Middle Ages. During this time, barbers were known as barber-surgeons. Unlike today, when medical professionals are formally trained in universities, medieval medical practices were often performed by individuals who had no formal education but had learned their skills through apprenticeships. Doctors were rare, expensive, and typically only served the wealthy. For the general public, barbers became the go-to professionals for minor medical procedures, including treating wounds, setting broken bones, and performing bloodletting. Bloodletting was a common practice in medieval medicine, based on the belief that many illnesses were caused by an imbalance of bodily fluids. By draining a controlled amount of blood from a patient, it was thought that ailments could be cured or at least alleviated. The process of bloodletting was quite rudimentary. A barber surgeon would make an incision in the patient's arm and allow the blood to drain into a bowl. To encourage blood flow, patients were often given a pole or rod to grip tightly. This action made the veins more visible and easier to cut. Sometimes bandages were used to wrap around the patient's arm before and after the procedure. Afterward, the barber would rinse out the bandages and hang them outside on a pole to dry. As the wind blew, these blood-stained rags would twist around the pole, forming a spiral pattern of red and white, an image that would eventually evolve into the modern barber pole. So where does the blue come in? The most common theory is that the red and white stripes were the original colors, symbolizing blood and bandages. The addition of blue is often attributed to the American influence on the symbol. Some believe that the blue stripe represents veins, complementing the red for blood and the white for bandages. Another theory is that in the United States, barbers adopted red, white, and blue as a patriotic nod to the American flag. While in some European countries the traditional barber pole remains red and white, in the US, the blue stripe became a distinguishing feature. This has led to some speculation that American barber poles were modified to distance the profession from its surgical past and align it more closely with the simple trade of haircutting. Despite the medical history of barbering, the profession gradually evolved into what we recognize today. By the late 18th and early 19th centuries, the responsibilities of barbers and surgeons became more distinct. Advances in medical science led to the formalization of surgery as a profession separate from barbering. In 1745, the United Kingdom officially separated barber surgeons from professional surgeons, ensuring that surgical procedures were only performed by those with proper medical training. Barbers, on the other hand, focused solely on grooming, haircuts, and shaving. However, the barber pole remained a lasting symbol of their historical roots. By the 19th and 20th centuries, barbershops became social spaces where men could gather, discuss politics, and exchange local news. The barber pole became more than just a sign of a business. It was an emblem of community and tradition. The design of barber poles also became more standardized, with mechanical spinning poles being introduced to enhance visibility. These poles used electric motors to create a continuous swirling effect, making them even more eye-catching. While barbers no longer perform bloodletting, the barber pole remains one of the most recognizable symbols in the world. In some countries, the red and white version still persists, while in the United States, the red, white, and blue variation is more common. Today, many modern barbers proudly display the pole outside their shops, not only as a sign of their profession, but also as a tribute to the rich history of barbering. Interestingly, laws and regulations regarding barber poles have changed over time. In some places, barbershops are required to have a spinning barber pole to indicate that they are licensed establishments. Conversely, some states have laws preventing businesses from displaying a barber pole unless they employ a licensed barber. This ensures that the tradition maintains its authenticity and prevents businesses from using the symbol misleadingly. Even in pop culture, the barber pole continues to hold significance. Whether seen in old movies, classic cartoons, or even as part of branding for hair and grooming products, the pole remains an enduring image associated with the art of barbering. Some barbershops have even modernized the concept, incorporating LED lighting and digital effects to give the barber pole a fresh, contemporary look while still paying homage to tradition. The red, white, and blue stripes of the barber pole are more than just a decorative feature. They represent a time when barbers were also medical practitioners, performing surgical procedures such as bloodletting. The red symbolizes blood, the white represents bandages, and the blue is either a reference to veins or an American addition to the symbol. Although barbershops have long since abandoned their medical duties, the barber pole remains a proud reminder of the profession's long and storied history. Whether in a small-town barbershop or a bustling city salon, the sight of a spinning barber pole continues to signal a place of grooming, tradition, and community. Over time, barbering and surgery became separate professions, but the pole remained as a lasting emblem of the trade. Today, it stands as a proud symbol of tradition, craftsmanship, and community. Next time you pass a barbershop, you'll know the fascinating history behind its iconic spinning pole. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.